No Dunks listener, it's the first week of January, so you know what that means. Healthy eating talk. Everybody's talking about their health plans. They got their health plans. They got their health plans on. I mean, we're all trying to eat better out here after a month of eating nothing but baked goods and roasted meats. But healthy doesn't have to be boring, because Magic Spoon has all the amazing flavors you love, but without all the bad stuff. You already know the vibes. Magic Spoon has 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, 4 net grams of carbs, and 140 calories per serving. Say it with me. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. And yeah, you can still build your own custom box from a variety of flavors like cocoa, fruity, peanut butter, maple waffle, and the rest of the Magic Spoon classics. So go to magicspoon.com/nodunks to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. Make sure to use our promo code NODUNKS at checkout to save 5 Fin Dogs off your order. Magic Spoon still has that sweet, sweet 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. So get your next bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/nodunks and use the code NODUNKS to save $5 off.
The shit was so real yesterday. So thugged out, so New York. Do you know where I went to eat dinner yesterday after the battle? Take a guess. I went to White Castle's.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Tuesday, January 4th. Back in the Classic Factory. I'm Jay Skeets. Alongside me, as always, got Tass Mellis.
Fellow factory workers, hello.
What's up? Put your hard hat on. Let's go to work. We got our top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o. Hey, yo.
The international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Leigh Ellis.
Friends.
Leigh looking extra slick today.
Oh,
inspired by that.
Well, yeah, I'm a little. Yeah, look, we
there
was no hot water in the house this morning. I had to
Really?
I had to restart the pilot light. A little chilly here in Atlanta last night,
yes.
but it just adds an extra 10 minutes to your morning there. So I got in the shower a little bit later, and I am looking a little slick now that I look at myself. So I don't mind this look.
Pat Riley-esque.
Yeah.
And then finally making the magic happen over yonder, it's super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, share the show. Let's get to 50K by Christmas.
Okay.
New Year's resolution.
that's easy.
Change
That's
my
easy.
goals. Like really lower the expectations on everything. Email in your NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com. We might do a little beach stepping tomorrow. I think we should, with it being so cold here. Get us out on the beach, read some emails.
I don't know. JD brought up maybe we do a crossfire, being that it's cold.
What?
Heat it up.
Let's get it
Wow.
hot in here.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe crossfire tomorrow.
JD wants
too.
to fire around those cameras. This guy.
But like we said, I think we said on air at one point when we first got in here, if we're doing crossfire, we need to play ping pong. Like fire your point, make a great point, fire the shot across the table.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
He likes it.
It'll last like 2 hits and that'll be it.
Yeah.
You'll never get a rally going, but that's fine.
Come on, we could have some bing bongs. Why don't we just take it easy? We just play a little rally.
Well, easier said than done. Have you ever played ping pong?
No, never
it's like
played.
2 hits and then it's done.
Not on half a table.
Yeah.
That's the toughest part.
Follow us on all of the social media channels at No Dunks Inc. That's INC. And JD, I don't know if you want me to bring this up or not, but I'm going to. I know I saw some people in the comments yesterday, specifically on YouTube, wondering like, hey, what's going on with the audio quality? It's a little off, and hey, the frame rate's a little strange. Did you want to address that at all, or no?
I mean, sure. Audio, we're a streaming show. It's going to be a little streamy. Podcast sounds good. I will say, I think the podcast sounds good. I have made some adjustments on the stream, so we'll see. I don't know. There's only so many. Every show we do is an experiment.
There were minimal complaints for the first few shows we did here.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think there was any audio complaints.
So Trey's got to go back to Illinois. You got to go to Canada.
It's just the weather.
And we need at least one guy on Zoom, I guess. That could be the weather.
Yeah.
And
the
StreamYard people got back to me and they had some suggestions, which I have implemented.
Okay.
So well, who knows? I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, I brought it up because we see you, we hear you, and we are trying to address it is the point.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
People are saying it's much better already today.
Wow.
Respect. All right, good. So just stick with us here. We're working out the kinks here in the new Classic Factory. We're going to get to, of course, the games from last night, or at least the key games. Got the up-down report. It's been a while since we've done that, so I'll throw some of those at you guys, and we'll throw some thumbs up and thumbs down. But we're starting with we'll start with one of the late games. Trae Young scores a career high 56 points, but Anfernee Simons scores a very inspired 43 in the Blazers' victory.
Yeah, lots of storylines from this one. I'll start, I guess, at the bottom and work my way up because Trae Young, I picked him to win MVP this season, and this was the sort of game.
Whoa, I forgot about that.
This was the sort of game I envisioned from seeing, well, not 56 every night, but the way that he played, the way that he shot the ball, he got the 14 assists, only 4 turnovers, and sort of kept his team in it. This was what we saw from the playoffs last year against the Knicks and the Sixers and the Bucks, where it was like Trae Young just dominated. He was hitting some deep bombs. Kevin Calabro was going crazy on the call last night. He's a great man to have on the call there. But it did come in a loss for the Hawks against the Blazers, who are a very beatable team. And Lillard didn't play in this one either. He was out for load management. So no Lillard, no McCollum. The Hawks, would have looked at this. They need some wins badly. I mean, this season hasn't gone very well at all for them.
Both of these teams desperate for any
right, but the Blazers I see this season a bit of a lost season. I don't really see them doing too much, whereas the Hawks have expectations. Now, they've also been dealing with COVID protocols. Everybody has, but Trae Young, since he's come out of those, has been shooting the ball and playing really well. Anyway, 56 points and a loss. He didn't care to celebrate that after the game. Why would he? Because the man you mentioned there, Anfernee Simons, who was playing with a heavy heart. He lost his grandfather on Sunday, who he was exceptionally close to. He was his biggest fan. There was a great article Jason Quick had up in The Athletic this morning about how his grandfather, Anfernee Simons' grandfather, used to just dress all in Blazers gear. He was just the biggest Blazers fan. So that just shows the bond that those two had. And he came out and did have an inspiring 43 points. That third quarter especially, hit 4 of 6, had 18 points, finishes with 43, 9 of 16 from downtown, 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Practice your free throws, kids. And just a fantastic performance in getting a win. And there's another little story to add on this one as well. Yusuf Nurkic in the fourth quarter down the stretch rumbles his way in the lane, as Kevin Calabro likes to say. He's a big guy. He's had a bit of an up and down season. He finished strongly as well for the Blazers, which I think was a good sign because, Chauncey Billups has talked a lot this season about lack of effort. The team just not playing hard enough. And in this case, I think finally you saw this was one of the better performances, most consistent performances certainly I've seen from the Blazers this season, where they played hard, they played to the end, and they closed the game out. And there was multiple contributors. Again, when you look at, Norm Powell had 26 points there. Little had 22. So they got contributions when their 2 star players, I mean, McCollum's been out for a while, of course, 2 star players down and other people step up and really get an inspiring win. So really good performance there from the Blazers. The Hawks probably look at this one and think, we needed to get that one, especially when you get a 56-point performance from a franchise guy.
Yeah.
Really disappointing for them. Great for us. a late game where a guy's dropping 50 and another guy's dropping 40. On the East Coast, that's got to keep you up for sure. But yeah, very disappointing for them to go in the fourth quarter. They're up. Trey goes to the bench, and this Hawks team is supposed to be extremely deep. And COVID protocols aside, they had most of their guys coming off the bench. It was DeLon Wright, Lou Williams, Danilo Gallinari, and Onyeka Okongwu to start that fourth quarter, and they got smashed by 10 points. And so Trey comes back, and yeah, they're already down 5, and he can't come back. But 56, they have to win. It's a strange season for them to be so bad defensively. They're one of the worst teams defensively.
They do not care. They don't care. They gave up 18 threes and 12 offensive rebounds yesterday, and it was like one pass, and you're getting a wide open 3 if you're the Blazers. That's how Anfernee Simons got so many open shots. The effort is embarrassing, honestly, from the Hawks defensively, because if you get 56 from Trae Young, you should win. You should win those games. Yep. There's no other way to say it, but there's this zero resistance, zero interest in defense from the Hawks. And it starts with Trae Young, obviously. I mean, he's the head of the snake out there, and all he wants to do is score and play offense, which 100% respect to him, if you're asking me, but I'm not in the NBA. He is. You got to care a little bit on that end. Otherwise, he's going to end up getting the James Harden treatment pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, as for the Blazers comment from Leigh, like, this is a lost season. Do you believe that? I mean, they're 14-22. They're 12th in the West, but, you know, they're right there with your Spurs and your Kings and your Wolves and all that, like, in terms of like a playing game. Like, do you agree with him? Like, or
I think you always are trying to impress Damian Lillard and trying to help him get the perspective that you want to stick around Portland. So I would say, no, it's never, you can't just pack it in if you're the Blazers, just because this guy's in his 30s and we always talk about guys wanting to win. This guy wants to win as much as anybody else. So I think that's always in the mind of everybody in the organization, especially with what happened in the front office with Neil O'Shea being gone. You got to keep the ship on course, I think. And so that's the thing with Damian Lillard. Daryl Morey's sitting back and waiting for it to be a lost season, I assume, in Portland, waiting for them to say, maybe we got to blow this thing up. And maybe he can, come in there and pry somebody off that roster. Damian Lillard being the only guy, really, I think. If they wanted to trade for CJ McCollum, that probably would have happened already. But yes, it's disappointing on both sides, really, this game. Very sad. Very sad I mean, we sit here and we praise Trae Young and we want him to be the guy who leads this team deep into the playoffs here in this city that we live in. And this team just doesn't have it together whatsoever. And that's the scary part defensively and on this team, because in Hawks history, the guys who scored more than Trae
trivia
Young,
time. Here we go.
Well, they all won their games when they scored more. There's three guys if you want to go deep. Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I wasn't going to bring a trivia, but
got to be Bob Pass to Lou Hudson.
There it is.
Yeah. Just always guess those.
Those are the
Just
guys.
guess those.
Yeah, that was easy enough.
Joe Johnson, he never got 56.
But at least in the fourth quarter, they started doubling Trae Young. The Blazers did with Norman Powell. They're like out there, and they took the ball away from him. But the Hawks, Clint Capella's been really disappointing.
Big time.
He's supposed to be their number one defender, and I think these COVID protocols. It's not an excuse for this Hawks team. They have too many guys for that to be an excuse for me watching. They started this game so tiny with the guys they put out there. You'd think they'd be able to fly around, but that did not happen.
Yeah, Clint Capella, good game offensively. Last
no
night,
doubt.
10 for 10.
He did.
Can't get much better than that.
No.
But there has been like that lack of
sometimes.
sort of somewhat defensive identity with this Hawks team. Both of these teams are just garbage defensively. That's the truth. The Blazers are still the worst defensive rating wise, and the Hawks are like flirting with them. I think they're 27th, 28th in the league. So that's
27th,
brutal.
Yeah.
I feel like they're too much caught up in last year. Trae Young said after the game, last year we were 14-20 at this point, so we made progress. We're 16-20. Not good. Literal, what do you want to do? Fire your coach again and bring in another one? That's what happened for him last year, right? Was a new voice in the locker room. So is that what he's suggesting?
They had a new voice.
Well, they also got healthy, I guess, last year too.
Like Tass is saying, almost everybody's back.
Yeah.
You got to care on one end.
Yeah, well, Joe Prunty was coaching last night, so there's a different voice anyway, but that's only because Nate's in COVID protocols there. But the Hawks have been honestly maybe the most disappointing team for me this season. I had hopes and expectations that they should be knocking on the door of the top four, and right now they're I don't think they're even in the play-in right now, and that's an abysmal season. They cannot not make the playoffs. That will be an absolute disaster for this team.
Let's keep it moving here. This game was very exciting, at least if you were a Grizzlies fan. Ja Morant leads the Grizzlies over the Nets, and then we had Desmond Bane saying after the game, is he the best point guard in the league? Not Desmond Bane talking about Desmond Bane. He's talking about Ja Morant. Bane, not really a point guard. But I added that to, of course, the headline here because it's a fun talking point. Who is the best point guard in the league? But what do you think specifically about Ja Morant's performance in this one and that game?
Well, let's start with Desmond. I love the comment from Desmond Bane, the question from Desmond Bane. It's like he's producing a talk show in a garage or writing a headline on any website. You just add a question mark at the end, and then the debate begins.
Asking. I'm not saying anything.
Well, he said, like his specific. I mean, I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but he was like, "Stop debating whether Ja Morant is an all-star."
Yeah, he said the real conversation is quote. He didn't say quote, but he said the real conversation is he the best point guard in the league?
Right.
He's a producer. He's literally starting it for us. The answer is no, emphatic no.
Okay.
He's not. Steph Curry is still the best point guard in the league. Who's a point guard? But I mean, Steph lays off the ball. That's because he's an amazing point guard. But Ja Morant is a freaking superstar. And this was abysmal defense from the Brooklyn Nets as well. It was horrifying to watch them come back from 2 straight losses and come out with this effort. It was the exact same thing that happened on against the Clippers on Saturday. Just straight line drives for Ja Morant, and obviously some beautiful posters that man created. Glorious stuff. It's an incredible watch. I think it is a one of a kind experience to watch a point guard like this. I get what Desmond Bane is saying, because I think the point guard experience of watching Ja Morant, there is nothing like it. There's nothing like it. That guy who attacks the rim that way. Is he the most athletic guy in the league? Leigh says yes.
I think he is, based on my interpretation of what athleticism is. Because you're saying straight line drives, and there were certainly some of those, but he actually improvises so much, because there were doubles coming at him, and you think, okay, he's trapped, and he slithers through there, and he floats it off there in front of Steve Nash. They're doing those little one-handed layups off the rim without gathering it with his second hand. I mean, the package he had last night, but it's so effective. He's not just putting up these highlights for the sake of it. It's out there when his team, because the Nets made a couple of little pushes there, and he would either go in for the layups or he would do that little floater as well. He hit the 3, went to the free throw line. I mean, he's got so much variety to his game. So he's athletic and he's got the variety. Put those together, and I think he is the most athletic. But that dunk, that breakaway dunk, or wasn't even a breakaway dunk, really. It was just through traffic there. I mean, the extension, the explosion, all that sort of stuff was that was the dunk of the night. That was the sort of moment of the night, I think, last night.
Yeah, look, if he continues to shoot like Steph Curry or Trae Young at the point guard position, I'm talking about Ja Morant, of course, then maybe, then he takes that title, because he's on fire right now from distance. In his last 4 games, 3 of 5 from deep, 6 of 7 in that one crazy game against the Lakers, 3 of 3 perfect against the Spurs, and then last night, a very respectable 2 of 4. Mixed with all of these highlight plays and attacking Trey. It was an awesome game from him. This is 2 statement games really out of the last 3, if you count the one again against LeBron and the Lakers, now against Durant and the Nets. Is he the coolest player in the league? I saw Ziller asking.
Maybe.
I think that's very possible.
Yeah. Okay. I actually like that question more than either of the questions that Desmond Bane has asked here, because he's saying, let's not debate whether he's an all-star. We agree. No debate there. So we're not talking about that. Is he the best point guard in the league? Also no.
Yep.
So let's not talk about that. Is he the coolest? Now, that's a good question, because last night on the call, Ian Eagle hit us with a Ja rules.
Yeah.
He's making Ja Rule cool again in 2022. So that's major respect there. But
that guy's a master, because I'm talking about Ian Eagle. On the call,
is Ian Eagle the coolest guy in the league?
Yeah. For us,
Sarah Kustok is actually cooler than Eagle.
Because Kevin Durant went up for a shot and he goes, Durant misses that one. Morant grabs the rebound. He's just throwing in rant. He's Ja Rule, man. He's rhyming rant with rant. He's hot.
Yeah, but I mean, Ja's awesome to watch, because like you're mentioning, Leigh, it feels like it's not just straight line speed at this point anymore. He's definitely found a second slower gear where he's able to kind of manipulate things in the half court. And I think that is the next step for Ja Morant. Is he's like the ultimate tone setter right now. That's, to me, the very Westbrook quality of him. He's going to be the hardest playing guy out there. He's going to be the fastest guy in transition. But what happens in the half court? Now that he's able to slither around these just pylon men sitting in the middle of the lane and finish at the rim with the tricky finishes he has, that has been super impressive to me. And if he's able to shoot at 40% threes, then the league is completely in trouble right now. So let's stop talking about this guy, because he is an all-star, but not the best point guard in the league. He's
okay.
Cool.
Who's the best point guard then?
Steph Curry's the best point guard.
Okay, then who's 2-3?
James Harden is number 2.
Okay.
Wow.
James Harden's still good.
Yeah, no,
I think
he wasn't good yesterday, but he's good.
He had a terrible beginning of the season, and people are like, he sucks now. He's second in the league in assists, and he's still scoring 25 a game. He's still really good. Who's number 3? Doncic, maybe?
It's so funny because LeBron is a point guard, right? I mean,
and he's also a center. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, but I don't have Ja as number 1, 2, or 3, but he's getting there. He's in the Westbrook and John Wall category to me, where you're like, this guy could be the best point guard in the league if the shooting is real.
Right. Yeah. Or, of course, another comparison, as a Bulls fan, they're like Rose comparisons. MVP Rose early on. You see it.
But you don't want him shooting a lot, because he's so good at getting at the rim. He's still one of every 3 shots is at the rim, and he's shooting a high percentage. You still want that variance. You don't want him to just be a 3-point shooter. They make a good combo. him and Desmond Bane. And Desmond Bane, here's a question. Is Desmond Bane the best shooting guard in the league? I mean, he had a 20.
Was Ja Morant asking that?
I mean, Desmond Bane's first half, he really did set the tone,
He's
I think.
been amazing.
Yeah, in that mid-range, he was really getting to his spot. So I don't know if he's the best shooting
No.
guard, but is he the most improved? Because he has been really good
Oh, boy.
for the Grizzlies.
That happens
Second
every
year
game.
player. Oh,
That happens
God.
every game.
Whoa.
It happens every game now. Bane comes out of the press conference. He says, "Is that guy the best point guard?" And Morant says, "That guy's most improved."
Yeah.
He had a 29-point night yesterday. It's wild that this team beat a Brooklyn Nets team with those two guys going for 36 and 29, and then the rest of their starters went 5 points, 0 points, and 6 points, and they smashed the Nets.
It killed. This game was over.
Yes.
Like third quarter, it was done, and then
Crazy
the
run in
bench
the
unit by
fourth.
the Nets, sort of made it respectable. Yeah.
23 offensive boards. So one of every 3 shots they put up, they collected an offensive rebound. You can't win. You can't win like
Right.
that. And I started to look up because I got this number in my head, the stat in my head that championship teams don't lose 3 straight games. I guess the Bulls famously did in 90-91 when they won their first one. They went 0-3 to start the season. But it's not true. You can still lose 3 games. Last year, the Bucks, you remember the Bucks losing streak? They lost 5 in a row.
Yeah, I do.
And then they lost 3 in a row later on. How did that happen? And they still won the championship. So
you still believe the Nets win the championship?
Yeah, sure. They're still currently the favorites in Las Vegas, which is kind of bonkers the way they're playing right now. Now Kyrie's coming back on Wednesday. They're advertising it. They're advertising on the home jumbotron that he's coming back to play on the road in their next game, which is
see you on League Pass.
unprecedented. This
know.
is strange. Hey, is Kyrie Irving the best shooting guard in the league? I think. Is he the shooting guard on that team?
Jeez.
He's the shooting guard.
Can't
on
wait
that
till he
team.
gets back. We'll have so many more questions to debate here on the show.
He's been plummeting in the cool guy rankings, unfortunately.
He used to be at the
point.
top of that.
Very high on the list. But a couple last things from this. Tass, you're mentioning the Nets have had poor effort. I don't like hearing that from Kevin Durant. He said it both of their last 2 losses. We didn't come out and play hard enough to win. And like you mentioned, 23 offensive rebounds for the Grizzlies. That's like an effort indicator right there.
Right.
Bad stuff from Brooklyn. And Skeets, this one's for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy on the Memphis Grizzlies bench.
Yeah.
Yves Pons. Only 8 letters, buddy. 4 and 4. Yeah, it's
2
not
syllables.
bad.
I will sleep easy tonight. Thank you, my
Good
friend.
names on that Grizzlies team.
Yeah. The Grizzlies, how high are they? I don't know if you have in front of you there, Leigh.
Fourth.
Fourth, still in the Western Conference. It's pretty amazing.
This is amazing because early on in the season, we talked about it yesterday, I thought their defense was going to really drag them down this season because they were just so bad. But they've turned it around, and now it's like, oh, okay, maybe they can overcome that. And just talking about the offensive rebounds last night, I think you saw Nick Claxton. He's a tall guy, he's a lanky guy, but Steven Adams, just that bulk, really showed. I thought last night it was like there's just no one big enough. They can have a tall guy, but you need someone physical as well. And that's something that the Nets don't have right now, and that's been a problem for them, even going back to last season.
Did you see there was I don't think it was making its way around Twitter. I thought about clipping it, but I was like, somebody else will do it. Steven Adams put his head on Nick Claxton's shoulder at one point. I think they had like a tiny little tussle, and then just Steven Adams, it was like a real
That's how we
real
get
nice
you.
moment.
That's how we get you.
with kindness. Kills you with kindness.
Exactly.
And then destroys you inside, throwing his weight around. All right, well, let's keep going here. Jordan Poole scored 32 off the bench as the Warriors beat the Heat after Jimmy Butler exited that game with an ankle injury. First, about Butler, I don't know if you guys saw it. He sustained it sort of late in the third quarter. Going to plant his right foot, looked like he sort of slipped, and he's like, uh-oh, there goes the ankle. And he had to be helped off the floor by 2 Heat members. I think they're saying all the right things here after, like, Spoelstra's like, it's probably fine. It's just a tweak. But this is like the 3rd time, I think, this season that Butler's done something to that right ankle. He had the tailbone injury as well. So, and he was playing really well in this game. It was actually a real bummer to this game because, another late night game, but really entertaining there. It was like a 6-point game, I think, when Jimmy went out, and he was, again, like contributing. He had like 20 plus points and the 5 boards and stuff like that. And then he goes down. Lowry gets in foul trouble not long after that. And then Warriors sort of ran him out in the gym in the 4th quarter. But that sucks for the Heat because no Bam still. And now we wait to see, and hopefully it's nothing serious with Jimmy Butler and the ankle. But then from the Warriors perspective, this is sort of awesome what I think Kerr's doing here with Jordan Poole, with Klay coming back, by the way, on Sunday. We'll get to that later in the show. I think we called that one on yesterday's podcast. Is that Poole is coming off the bench these last 2 games, And last night he explodes, like 32 points in this new reserve role because he had started 28 of the previous 30 games. I mean, no Klay, he's in there. He played well. We were talking him up. This guy's going to win a finals MVP in the future and all that. But I like just Kerr like getting ahead of it. Like, no, we're going to make you like the super sub. Because when Klay comes back, he's starting task. You brought this up yesterday. He's on record saying that. And wow, setting up pretty well here if he's going to play like this coming off the bench.
They've got a very good starting lineup. They've got a very good bench. When you look at it, him and Otto Porter and Bjelica and Andre Iguodala and Gary Payton II. They are the best team in the NBA. It doesn't matter what the records say. But I thought, it stinks for the Heat in that this is probably the thing that can bring them down is injuries because they have been, a little injury prone to start this season. And I still do think they're in the class of the Bulls at second tier and could fight with them, have a great series against whoever they play in second round if they win the first round. But are these Tom Thibodeau years with Jimmy Butler starting to wear them down a little bit? I don't know if that's actually the case, but it's just it's difficult, and this could be what brings them down, not just Jim. Bam Adebayo's been hurt, and up and down the roster, they're a little bit older, obviously.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think of this one, Warriors Heat, Leigh?
Well, if you get a 1 for 10 from 3 performance from Steph Curry and lose, that's got to hurt because Jordan Poole coming off the bench and Wiggins started off well, but Steph couldn't shoot last night. He did keep his 3-point streak going, which is important because you wouldn't want to have to restart that again. But 9 points, 10 assists, so he was still out there. And look at Steph Curry had an off night like that. But if you're the Heat and your game plan is, we're going into this game and we're going to make the other guys beat us, and then they go out and beat you, you're kind of like, oh, damn.
What do you do?
Yeah, exactly. We should have let Curry go for 56.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's one of those things. But I'm just still pulling for my guy, Kyle guy, out there. He's may be the coolest guy in the league right now because
he's the Kylest guy.
I said yesterday, he looks like he was just playing street ball, and so I said, hey, you want to play in the NBA?
Right.
And he put the headband on. He's got the hair flowing, hit some threes. He was throwing flames last night, as Bob Fitzgerald said on the court.
Right.
Flamethrower, whatever.
I get it.
But the Heat on the second night of a back-to-back, they lost in Sacramento the night before. They'd won 5 in a row, so they can, then it's not a disaster for them. They're still having a relatively good season here as things are going along. But the Jimmy Butler concern, he also looks to me like at the end of games, he looks pretty gassed a lot of the times as well. Like he looks exhausted. So, but the Heat just signed into a massive extension too in the offseason, like 4 years and 184. So they're going to hope whatever things are ailing him right now, he can overcome those. We know he performs in the playoffs, not last season, but other than that, he's a big time playoff performer. I think that's what they're hoping to get from him because, obviously, it's a blow if they're short a couple of guys already and they're missing him too.
Draymond Green back for the Warriors last night too. You saw his impact on both ends of the floor. Warriors had 39 assists. It's 2 games in a row now, consecutive games with 39 or more assists. That hasn't been done since '94, apparently. The good old Pacers team moving the ball around, fizzing it around. Like, that's a crazy stat. That's a lot of assists.
Yeah, actually, I had that stat to bring up. You reminded me of it. In the last 5, they've averaged over 31 per game. Now, they've lost one of those games, but that's the Steve Kerr. That's the original sort of Warriors. Go back 4 or 5 years. What do you want to just move that ball around? And they're starting to get it again now. And, 110 points they've scored over these last 5 games, shooting the ball well. And, again, when Steph doesn't have a great game, that's just gravy for this team.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they're the best team in the league?
Yes. I do. I
concur.
Yeah,
Doctor.
No, I mean
Steve Kerr.
They're gonna sit. I think they're gonna sit Steph. I think with all these guys back, Steph
send him to the bench.
Yeah, well, he could go to the bench. Yeah, for sure. Come off the bench, show him win 6th man. He's still got 41 games to play, but I think they're gonna rest him a bit at some point because he's been carrying a heavy load, and that's the benefit of being first seed at this point.
But there will be some incentive, I think, to have the first seed. So in theory, you're not playing, in a 2 on the 2-3 side of things. Let's say it's Suns Jazz still. Those are damn good teams. Let them go at each other is my point, and maybe you're taking on somebody else. But then again, it's like, do the Lakers rise to that number? The Grizzlies are scrappy, but there's all these situations here, right? Mm-hmm. All right, the other games, I'll throw them all at you. Actually, you know what? I'll break them up. Eastern Conference games. Trey, you can go wherever you want. I have an idea where you'll start, but who knows? Kyle Kuzma, Bradley Beal, they led the Wizards over the Hornets 124-121. The Bulls extended their win streak to 8 games. They beat the Magic 102-98. Embiid had a triple-double to power the 76ers past the Rockets by a lot. And then the Pistons, the Detroit Pistons, Sadiq Bey is on fire. They won 115-106. They snapped the Bucks' 6-game win streak. So have at it, my man. What
You
do
know
wanna
I'm
talk about?
starting with doubles.
Doubles.
8 straight. First time since 2012. This was another ugly one for Chicago. But like Dominic Toretto says, doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
Right.
He's right.
Third game in 4 nights for the Bulls, and it looked like they were tired. DeRozan went 7 for 13 from the free throw line. So after the game, he went on the United Center court and made 250 free throws. Should have just made like 4 more during the game and then take the night off, buddy. Lonzo Ball was back from COVID protocols. He looked rusty. Franz Wagner had a nice game. Got to give him a shout out because Magic fans were a little upset that we didn't mention him in the redraft yesterday. But honestly, we couldn't mention him in the redraft because it's not that impressive if you move Josh Giddey up from number 6 to number 5.
I know.
Right? And that's what it was.
Well,
Like, move 6 to 4,
I went
that's
back
fine.
and watched us talking about the redraft of the top 5. We did have Wagner. We were mentioning Wagner. He's like, well, he's probably 5th. That's funny because he ended up going to the Magic at 8th. But so like, yes, he's good. He's really good, actually. This draft list,
He's good, and he always looks like he's playing in a half squat to me. I don't know why. He's got a very weird lean. The other interesting thing from this game, the Bulls did a bit at one point where Benny the Bull was running around naked. Like he had no jersey on, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Stacey King was on the call. He's like, I don't think I've ever seen that before. I've been around the Bulls for a long time. He's just naked. Is he doing an Antonio Brown bit? Like nobody can figure it out, but it is. It's weird to see a mascot running around with no clothes
Totally
on.
weird.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know about this. I'm seeing too much red. But good stuff for the Bulls. 8 straight, first place, blah blah blah. The other game I'm interested in, watched the Wizards last night. I've now seen 2 straight Kyle Kuzma on fire in the fourth quarter game. He hit 4 threes in the fourth quarter last night. 3 of them came in the last 3 minutes. He finished with a season-high 36. Beal also had a nice game in a win for the Wizards, so that was fun to watch. Kuzma, when he's got it going, like, the guy looks like an MVP. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
The way he celebrates to the crowd is very funny as well. Loves to talk trash to the opposing bench. And I got to give an anti-shout-out to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Took a 3 from the corner and hit the top of the backboard.
Wow.
So he's been
Commentator said, wow.
he's been blocked by the backboard.
I was going to say,
Now he's
Side
clumped one
of
off the top. Yeah,
He's got to go off the bottom.
Yeah, he's got to go off the bottom.
Gone side, back, got to go bottom, man.
Yeah, it's
Trifecta.
Yeah, but great game there from Kuzma, like you said, to get the victory.
Love the Kuz.
And just let's get your take, everybody's take here, and everybody in the stream team. Did you see what happened with the 76ers? Booing Tobias Harris. I think he was like 3 for 10 at that point, and they were really giving it to him. Sixers were not playing well, and they were trailing to a Rockets team who were missing some of their best players. Now they get the win, and Embiid is a monster. But then later on, Tobias Harris, scores and basically like, don't clap for me now. You're booing me, and there's this like little back and forth going. Embiid addressed it after the game, as did the coach. I think Burke filling in for Doc Rivers. What did you think of this whole thing?
Well, he's a frustrating player, Tobias Harris. He has high moments, but he has these moments where it's like, man, he looks awful. He looks like KCP out there. So I think in Philadelphia, they have the reputation, the crowd there, for being pretty harsh on their own.
Yeah.
He clunked a few. It was a game that they should have been blowing the Rockets out the whole time. And it was too close, I think, for comfort. So they needed someone to point the finger at and to scream and shout at. And Tobias was the one who copped it last night. But then Tobias to turn around later and just say, "I don't want your applause now." I mean, that's starting a little war there with the fans. I mean, what's going to happen the next game?
See, I feel like 76ers fans would appreciate that
right,
more.
yeah, okay,
right?
okay, yeah.
Or maybe I'm wrong, but like it's sort of funny to me. Like, and they're like, yes, because then they're like, yeah, we got you going.
Yeah,
us booing you made you hit that shot. I don't know. That's my.
It'd be a tough crowd to play in front of. I think. I mean, you're either loved or hated, because I think Embiid's also sort of had some stuff with the fans.
Embiid, Simmons, obviously, and now Tobias.
Yeah, so
it's a rite of
crowd. They
passage.
boo Santa Claus, they say there in Philadelphia, and I think they're just playing up to their reputation.
Well, Ziller in his newsletter this morning had I thought an interesting question in a weird way. Would you rather that, like the 76ers fan base that is booing their own guys because like they're 3 for 10 at that moment, and Tobias has been in the shooting funk over the last couple of games, so that like it's piled up.
Tobias Fumke.
Yeah, that's right. Or would you want the opposite? And there are many fan bases that are just like crickets. There's no energy. There's no real support, whether you're doing well or poorly. Like, which one would you rather have?
Oh, no, I'd rather be on the Tobias Harris side,
Yeah.
where there's the emotion and the passion. I mean, Philadelphia's
expectations.
one of those teams I would love to have played for, because like when
I'm gonna boo the shit
no,
out
that's
of you.
like when you're growing up, you wanted to play for the Lakers or the Knicks or the Sixers or the Bulls, right? That was what it was for me.
You're a little older than us. Though.
Yeah.
Early
He's an
80s.
80s
Dr.
guy,
J and Moses Malone,
Yeah,
I mean, they had the rivalry there, and so you want that passion. Like, remember how much they just adored, Allen Iverson. Like when they love you, they absolutely
agree.
love you.
Yeah.
And that, and every time he goes back there now, he puts the hand up, and they still give it to him. And they got the bell there. I love all that. So yes, give me that. Give me Philadelphia.
Okay.
That's
Of
why I've
course.
got that Sixers jacket. Remember that Starters jacket?
a
I
good
got
jacket.
the Sixers one.
I forgot about
Yeah, I'll wear it. I'll bring it
jacket.
in if I
Please.
remember tomorrow, and I'll wear it.
It's a nice jacket.
It's cold enough in here.
Yeah.
You can throw that on. Okay, do you guys
That's a
agree?
dig. That's a dig.
Do you guys agree? Is that a dig? I'm saying it's cold in Atlanta right now. We're in the garage.
Of course, that's the right answer. Apathy is
Yeah.
the absolute worst. To hear nothing from your fans,
Yeah.
that's far more painful. The silence is far more deadly. 100% true. I was watching the Wizards game. Never enjoyed the Wizards more than I have the last few games because they care. In the phone booth, it used to be a silent phone booth. It used to be.
I've seen a game live there, and it was very quiet.
Yeah, and so to watch Kyle Kuzma, this is an enjoyable Kuzma. I've never enjoyed Kyle Kuzma more than these last few games. Just balling out that shot against the Bulls where Beal gave it to him so late that Kuzma had a hand right in his face, but Kuzma is unconscious right now. And you speak about mannerisms and weird body types and Franz Wagner there. Kyle Kuzma's got a weird move when he's angry. He had an offhand call. He used his off arm to shield a guy. He got called for the foul. So he goes back and he's angry. And his legs are moving a lot faster than his arms. His arms are just almost stationary. It's the old SNL. It's like they don't move at all. But he's angry. Anyways, then he comes back and he uses those arms to bang home shots at the end of games. It was such a simple call from the Wizards. Beal, okay, start the play, just pass it to Kuzma. Doesn't matter if he has 6 hands in his face, he's going to hit a shot. And, 36 points, man. That's great for them. And the same thing I thought about Cade Cunningham watching him. He sized up Giannis and hit a big 3 in his face towards the end of that game. So kudos to Cade, untouchable there. Sadiq Bey, you said he should be untouchable
He's
too.
on fire.
I hope they don't trade Sadiq Bey. They should not. People are going to come calling for obviously Jeremy Grant. Hey man, why don't you throw in Sadiq Bey? Or why don't you? They should think about somebody else to trade, not Sadiq Bey.
I watched a lot of the second half of that Bucks Pistons game because you keep thinking like, well, Bucks are going to come back and get this. Pistons just kept hitting big shots. Sadiq Bey was involved in a lot of the action. Like you said, Cade was great, and the Bucks came up short. It's a quality win for the Detroit Pistons, who do not have a have a lot this year. But
I think I saw Ziggy in the stream team earlier saying that the Bucks had won 39 straight against the Central Division.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that
before
was
losing to the Pistons in this one.
Was that still intact? I remember we talked about it at one point.
I'm not up to date on that streak, but
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
taking Ziggy's word for
Okay,
it here.
Ziggy will take your word. Hey, JD, just speaking of about the whole, would you rather be booed by your own fan base or just nothing? Would you rather the stream team pointing out the frame rate's off a little bit and maybe the audio quality's not perfect, or just nothing at all?
No, I want the comments. I want the feedback. I want to know. I don't watch this show, so how else am I going to find out?
I would like to have seen JD though when the first couple of comments come through, so we would have been checking, and then later in the day another comment. All right.
At a certain point, you want to say, okay, we're aware of the situation.
Yeah, exactly,
we're working on it. By the way, JD, go to this camera over here. I don't know if you can see Leigh's computer. I can just see out of the corner of my eye, he's scrolling all of his photos, looking for him in, I assume, a 76ers jacket.
That's right. I've got it.
Yeah.
But,
Didn't you take one with us?
Yeah,
in the studio.
Yeah.
We're all wearing Raptors jackets, and Leigh's got on a white Sixers. White Sixers jacket.
I can't remember when we did it though, so that's why I'm sort of scrolling here, trying to pay attention to the show at the same time.
Okay. Well, let me give you the other West games last night as you sort of look for that. Continue to look for that. Donovan Mitchell scored 29 as the Jazz beat the Pelicans, 115-104. Luka Doncic had a double-double, led the Mavs past the Nuggets 103-89. And the Wolves, your Wolves, they beat the Clippers 122-104 to snap a 3-game skid. You must have been happy.
Classic reverse bump, I think it was for me, because I said they're struggling, and they got Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell out of protocol, but they didn't play because they're not conditioned.
Right.
but they still got the win. It was a revenge game for Patrick Beverley, had a double-double against his old team. And Dane Moore, who does a great job covering the Minnesota Timberwolves, had one of these, tweeted this last night. Patrick Beverley gets hard fouled by James Ennis, starts screaming, "He ain't nobody." Then Beverly goes over and gives Steve Ballmer a high five. What a troll, compatriot. Like, this is the thing.
Did Ballmer grab his junk?
Yeah,
or his
exactly.
thigh?
Like, I talk a lot about Beverly because he drives me crazy, but there are times as well where he is really entertaining and he brings something to the game. So very important win there. Of course, the Clippers still, they're without Paul George for at least a couple more weeks here. So a good sort of bounce back win, a very important win there for the Wolves last night.
All right. Let's take our first break, and when we come back, we'll get into the up-down report.
With Masterclass, you can learn from the talents of Alicia, Miss Keys, or how to develop a poker cash game strategy with Daniel Negreanu. I know we all love our poker.
Canadian.
Yes, of course. Not tournaments. Tournaments, there's a little too much fluctuation, a little too much room for luck, but this guy teaches you the cash game. Stay disciplined, stay disciplined, stay disciplined. Or you can learn mental strength from Peloton's VP of Fitness Programming and head instructor, Robin Arson. Being the beginning of the year and we all want to be a little bit more fit, it was good to hear about resiliency from Robin and topics like overcoming mental obstacles, knowing my worth, reinventing myself, vision words, and the definition of the word swagger. I kind of hate the word swagger right now. It's overplayed. It was on Twitter. Nice move, Jay. JD's got swagger.
JD's got sweater.
I have... Hey, JD, it's cold in here, man. Keep your sweater on.
I only pointed that out because we could only see his sweater.
I know.
Seconds.
Well, nobody had commented on it yet. So I had
Anyways, I hate the word swagger because it's played out. No one knows what it means anymore. You just throw it out there. It was trending yesterday, and so when Robin Arson used it, I liked it. Like most people, I'm tired of it, but Robin made it cool again. I will run through a wall for Robin Arson. With over 100 classes from a range of world-class instructors, that thing you've always wanted to do is closer than you think. I highly recommend you check it out. Get unlimited access to every masterclass. And as a No Dunks listener, you get 15% off an annual membership. Go to masterclass.com/nodunks today. That's masterclass.com/nodunks. Terms apply.
Everyone knows that keeping things fresh is the best way to stay motivated and keep from burning out on doing the same thing over and over. Look at No Dunks. I think we are the definition of this, keeping things fresh, right? You know, way back in the day, just a podcast on Skype. You know, well, actually, before that, we were a podcast in a kitchen. Then we were a podcast on Skype. Then we were a video podcast. Then we were a television show at the Score. And then we were an hour television show at NBA TV. Mm-hmm. Then we went back to 30 minutes. Then we were back to being a podcast, and now we're back at a ping pong table. So we went from a kitchen table to a ping pong table. It's actually a step down. But we're keeping things fresh. Can't say we don't do that. The Peloton Bike and Bike Plus are ringing in the new year with so much new classes, new music, new ways to keep your workouts fun and motivating. One of my favorite new offerings that Peloton is adding to their lineup, boxing. You ever boxed?
Yes.
Tiring.
Yeah,
exhausting.
Very
what
tiring.
A workout.
Yeah.
Who'd you spar with?
Me and a couple of mates, we used to spar in the back. We had a punching bag and we had the
speed bag.
Speed belt. Yeah. No punching in the face was allowed, but a couple of slaps slipped in there, because you're trying to fight and be friendly, but one will give you a little pop to the rib, so you want to accidentally pop him on the jaw. Me and old Eight Toes used to spar. It was great.
I thought he'd be a kickboxer.
I can't stay balanced on one foot. It's got to be a boxer. Well, Peloton is stepping into the ring with its newest discipline, and no gloves are needed. With Peloton here. Discover a fast, furious, and fun workout with Peloton instructors in your corner. Even if you've never boxed before, these classes will have you working up a sweat while working on the fundamentals of form, footwork, and fun combos that'll keep you on your toes. I can't remember if I shared this on the show once, but I did a little boxing class with Graydon Gordian once, because he used to be a boxing instructor back in the day, and it was exhausting. Oh my God. I have a photo somewhere I should find.
I think I have that photo.
Yeah, I'm just
on my
dripping
computer.
in sweat. And you know, we were just like, sparring, hitting the bag and all that. It's quite the workout. So
Tough guys. Over there.
You want to have a fight after the show?
We got Bob over here. Let's see some punches.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Take a punch off.
For a limited time, try the Peloton app free for 2 months. Can you stop scrolling?
No, I can't. I
for
can't find
photos? It's really distracting. I want to punch you so bad now. Try the Peloton app free for 2 months, then $12.99 a month after. New members only. Visit onepeloton.com/app to learn more. That's 2 months free at onepeloton.com/app.
I'm gonna find that picture and sorry, go ahead.
What picture you got now?
find the picture of it.
Everybody's just looking at photos.
I'm gonna find it in 5 seconds.
Oh,
I can't remember
okay.
what year it was. Wasn't our first or second year? Was that?
No,
It's
it was
deeper.
Let me finish this. Offer expires 1/31/22. That's the end of January this year. Terms apply.
Yeah,
There.
they do.
Have at it. Did you find it?
No, not yet.
Oh.
It's only been 3 seconds. No, it's gonna take me a while.
I don't even know which photo we're looking for. at this point.
We were in the studio.
Yeah.
We were in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
We were all going to Toronto for the All-Star game.
Yeah, 2016.
2016. Yeah, we got a bunch of starters
2016?
Raptors gear, the jackets.
Yeah.
So we were all wearing. 3 of us were wearing one style. 2 of us were wearing another style, and Leigh Ellis was wearing a Sixers jacket. There it is.
Hey, I found it.
Trey found
Okay,
it.
Trey found it.
February 4th, 2016.
Okay, great. We'll get that over to
I
you.
don't know how to share
Yeah,
it.
it's a
I don't know how to share it anymore, though.
Yeah, well, anyway, as for boxing
Get the DL.
photos,
Yeah.
2 come to mind. One, me and Graydon Gordian that he probably has.
Classic.
And then there was a great boxing photo of Matt Austin wearing
Yeah. Oh,
giant
yeah.
boxing gloves because
Oh,
he
I
was
got it.
actually boxing Betty the Bull.
Oh, Trey's got that one for sure.
Something like that.
Oh, yeah, I do. Tomorrow, boxing pictures day.
All right. We'll show everybody these amazing photos that'll take Trey 5 seconds to find
Yeah.
and Leigh 5 hours to find. Okay, let's get to the up-down report.
Prepare your tubis. It's the Uptown Report.
Yeah, all right. First one here, guys. Yesterday, Grizzlies guard Ja Morant and Bulls guard DeMar DeRozan named NBA Players of the Week for Week 11 of the 21-22 season. Ja led Memphis to a 3-0 week, averaging 34.7 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists. Meanwhile, Chicago's vet came up big as the Bulls went 4-0. DeRozan averaged nearly 28 points per game, 5 boards, 7 assists, and became the first player to hit game-winning shots on consecutive days. So the first question in the up-down report, it's pretty straightforward here, and we ask everybody joining us in the stream team and listening later, up or down on these 2 selections from the NBA, Ja Morant and DeRozan, Week 11 as the Players of the Week.
Double up.
Double up.
Oh, nice. I nailed it. Double up right there. This is easy. I mean,
Yeah.
both of these guys went undefeated for their teams, put up incredible stats, and in DeRozan's case, also had a couple of game winners. Now, I will be honest. I didn't look at the stats for every single NBA player over the past week. Week 11 in the NBA. That's how I always refer to things.
I know.
Keeping track of the weeks. Let's see the big Week 11 showdown here. But yeah, certainly deserve it for both of these guys. Grizzlies looking good. Bulls are looking good. This is the second of the season for DeRozan. The first since Jimmy Butler was in town for the Bulls. So I got to ask, is he going to get Player of the Month for December?
Oh, wow.
His first one was, I don't know what week this was of the season, but it was the week where November turns into December.
Okay.
So we got a little bit of credit there. Obviously, the Bulls had a shutdown and DeRozan missed a couple of games, but he hasn't lost a game that he's played in since November 27th.
Wow.
10 straight wins for DeRozan when he's playing with the Bulls. That's all of December.
Yeah.
I think he's got a chance.
Wow.
I'm an idiot. I care about players of the week and players of the
Yeah,
month.
gotcha.
now. Sucks, man.
Gotcha.
Well, it was cool to see that DeMar cared about it too. I mean, he was asked about it, and he's like, "Yeah, this is cool." He was kind of, banished to San Antonio for a couple of years there. I mean, banished isn't the right word, but he wasn't given the same recognition, obviously, that he's getting now. It's been a bit of a roller coaster from Toronto, dropped down. You got traded for Kawhi. They go win a championship, and now he's getting some recognition. So hopefully, he wins a Player of the Month too.
You brought up DeRozan sticking around after last night's game to shoot the free throws or maybe traded. Sorry. But did you see the clip of DeMar's girls doing his free throw routine while he was at the line?
No, I didn't.
They're like,
who had that?
I think the NBA actually posted it to their the
no.
NBA YouTube. Yeah, it's like there's like a little PIP, little picture in picture. Hey, second day in a row. And like his girls are like doing like his routine.
No, I haven't seen it, but I am definitely going to go and check that out.
Because you're always saying practice your free throw
Exactly, yeah.
kids, and these are kids actually practicing their free throws.
Like their dad, which is great to see.
All right. So no qualms with these players of the week.
No.
I will say LeBron had some monster numbers in the Western Conference too, but they usually take into consideration the record of the team. So.
Yeah. But it's just the week you maybe don't want to win it because it is a bit of a dark week, that sort of post-Christmas, New Year's week. People are off, people are doing things. So someone at the NBA office...
This will be forgotten to time.
Well, I'm just saying it's the one that, it's like there's someone who's like, all right, I've got to watch all these games. But yeah, you got a couple of all-stars there. They'll both be all-stars, obviously.
Right, okay.
And there's nominees every week now, too.
Yeah.
Gotta get in those.
It's hey, what about this guy?
Nominees,
Hey, what about this guy for week 11? Yeah. I mean, I brought up one. LeBron definitely was one of the nubs. All right, our next one here in the up-down report. Rockets suspended Kevin Porter Jr. and Christian Wood for one game. Last night's contest against 76ers following their poor behavior over the weekend. Just to remind everybody, KPJ, he left the arena during halftime of Saturday's loss after a heated exchange in the locker room with assistant coach John Lucas. And Wood was benched after missing a mandatory COVID-19 testing window. Then he played some minutes, and then by all accounts, he refused to play in the second half. I think that's how the story goes here. So they got suspended one game. Are you up or down on them being disciplined?
I hope I get this right. Yes.
Yeah,
there I am. There we go. Yeah. One game each. Oh, that's right. I mean, they had to do that, the Rockets. There was no way you can let young players who are talented but certainly don't have that sort of equity in the league or the team right now where they can throw a tantrum like that. I would expect, honestly, any player, even if it was a DeRozan or someone, if they just leave halfway through, you automatically have to get at least a one-game suspension. So the Rockets really had no choice here. This is definitely a lost season. They've had a weird 7-game win streak. Yep. These guys are obviously talented, but no one gets away with that, no matter who you are in the league.
Trey, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they've got to be suspended, but the Rockets need a little veteran leadership. John Wall's just sitting there wanting to play for your team. Why is he not? And to me, this is kind of like a sign, like you keep losing. The team is falling apart a little bit here. Maybe a little stability would help. But clearly that's not in the cards for the Rockets. So yeah, KPJ suspended, Christian Wood suspended. Still don't know what that object was, though.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. That's really all
What's
I care
your best
about
guess?
Eraser. like a dry erase board eraser.
Wow.
Yeah, because you would hear what it was if it was something cool. If it was soup, we would have heard about it. Hey, somebody threw soup again.
See, I think it's something from his own locker.
Yeah, like a shoe.
Yeah, tape or
shoe. I think shoe we would have heard of.
Yeah, wow.
Threw a shoe. Sounds funny. But something boring like dry eraser, nobody cares.
Right.
Just name it an object. It sounds scarier.
Okay.
Yeah. I see a lot of moisturizer in guys' lockers. I think we would have heard about that as well. It probably would have squirted everywhere if the bottle hits the ground. Yeah, that would have been a story. Yeah, it's unfortunate for this Rockets team. I had more faith in Christian Wood to be a little bit more of a leader, but I was wrong.
But you think this was the right
yes
decision here from the organization?
You
have to.
You got to, yeah.
Just to
get it right.
Make the line. So you can't cross that. You cross that, you're getting a game suspension. All right, let's hear from everybody out there. The stream team, thumbs up or thumbs down. Final one here. Sort of alluded to it earlier. According to Woj, Woj is going to get credit for this. Klay Thompson could make his return from injuries as soon as Sunday against the Cavaliers. A final decision on Klay's debut is expected to be made once the Warriors return from back-to-back games on Wednesday and Thursday in Dallas and New Orleans. But why is Woj getting credit for this? Because we told you yesterday, right here at this very ping pong table, that Klay Thompson was returning on Sunday. So Tass, up or down on No Dunks not getting credit for what looks like us predicting Klay Thompson's return.
Of course we predicted it, and I'm a huge down. Who should get the credit?
We should.
I don't know. Anthony Slater for writing about that incredible story in the scrimmage that was never seen?
Maybe.
Or the PR person who told Wojnarowski, or Wojnarowski, or Rick Celebrini, the guy who's been working with Klay Thompson to bring him back, his head trainer, or Klay Thompson himself. Of course. Yeah, we don't deserve credit. I mean, why? Because we said Sunday is the game he's coming back.
Yes.
I said it. I am amazing. So
precisely.
It's great that he's coming back. It's great that Rick Celebrini is the guy who makes the decision I love the name. I love saying Rick Celebrini.
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
say it plenty.
Celebrini
He's
and
Canadian,
Barnes.
I think, isn't he?
Is he?
I
don't
believe
know.
he is, yeah.
Is he?
I think so.
Good old Canadian boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been working with Klay closely, and they're going to be celebrating on Sunday when he plays.
Yeah, it's looking
Hopefully.
like that's going to be it.
Yeah, because they played so well. We talked about the scrimmage yesterday. Again, the scrimmage that nobody saw, where Klay Thompson got up 17 shots in 12 minutes apparently, and shot over 50% and looks great. And everybody keeps saying it. And I think they want to lower the expectations that Klay's not going to come back and be a flamethrower. Bob Fitzgerald's not going to say he's throwing flames out there quite yet, because it's a different game. But yes, he's going to come back and he's going to be balling because it's Klay Thompson.
Should we have gotten credit though?
Yes. Honestly, I would get 0 credit for this because I just now looked at the schedule and it's the only day that makes sense. But
Yeah.
Tass already said it, so
Yep.
full credit to Tass.
Thanks.
Assuming that Klay Thompson actually does come back.
Yeah,
and play
that's the best part
on that day.
That's the best
Yeah.
part. We're not 100%, but maybe 99% that he's coming.
That arena is going to erupt when Klay comes back because he never played in that one.
That's right.
he's-
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how
He's
long
played
it is.
since 2019.
Since
game six.
Yeah,
In
Oakland.
In Oakland.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
which is incredible to think it's been that long because he had the 2 injuries, the back-to-back, and now he's back. So he's one of the great players who brings a lot of joy to the game, and it's great when he's in the league shooting and having fun. So I'm looking forward to his return.
Shooting and having fun.
Yeah.
Klay. Do we know if that's a nationally televised game? I'm assuming it's not.
Flex it if it's
Warriors,
not.
Cavs.
Warriors, Cavs
on a Sunday.
What time? Because there's what time?
What time is it? ABC game? Is it possible?
8:30 p.m.
No, not a
No,
chance.
no. Okay, so that's gonna be a league passer unless NBA
That's
TV
good.
can
I think the
flex or
Warriors
something.
want it that way. They want it to be under the radar.
Okay, you made the prediction that he's coming back on Sunday. Let's say he's playing. How many points is
12.
Klay Thompson going to? Wow, couldn't even answer the question. 12 points. What do you think?
17.
Okay.
Wow, good game.
18. 6 threes. That's it.
Put me down for 22 points. Klay Thompson in his debut.
What?
I don't know. I just thought, I'd add a little
season
flavor to
debut.
that.
Okay.
All right, let's hear from the people in the stream team. Everybody listening to the podcast later. Klay Thompson predictions for Sunday night's game. It feels like it's the end of the week right now. It's Tuesday. Oh boy. We got to take one more break. When we come back, a very interesting tweet of the night that I'm excited about and picking results. But what do you got, Leigh?
Yeah, so I just got back from a trip from a land that is true, north, strong.
And free.
You know what isn't free, though? Foreign transactions.
Depends on your card.
Well, it's a cashless society these days,
Yeah,
and
yes, it
I'm a
is.
tap man. I love tapping. I think it's great. But I don't like every time I tap, it costs me for that transaction because I didn't use cash once on the trip. Nary a loony nor a toonie graced my paws. I'm tapping everywhere. It's safer as well right now. So what better way to start off 2022 than with a better checking account with no monthly fees? Because Chime is an award-winning app and debit card that has no overdraft fees and no foreign transaction fees, monthly fees, or service fees. You can also send money to anyone, even if they're not on Chime. Fee-free for you and no cash-out fees for them. It's great. You're just giving money away. You're not giving it to that third party for making that transaction, for facilitating, which is great. Make your first good decision of the new year and join over 10 million people using Chime. Sign up only takes 2 minutes and doesn't affect your credit score. Get started today at chime.com/no-dunks. That's chime.com/no-dunks. Here's for the boring part.
Yeah.
Banking services provided by and debit card issued by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank NA, members FDIC. Get free transactions at any MoneyPass ATM in a 7-Eleven location and at any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Otherwise, out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply. Sometimes pay anyone instant transfers can be delayed. The recipient must use a valid debit card or be a Chime member to claim funds.
Awesome. You nailed it.
Thanks.
How long does that take you to write a wicked ad copy like
Well, it depends. Like I when I read the copy there last night, and I saw the no foreign transaction fees just after I'm sort of checking now all the charges coming through on my cards from my trip. I'm like, perfect. There's a perfect little story segue there. That's what you want, you know.
that personal touch?
Exactly. It's legit. It's authentic.
What was your own?
Exactly.
What was your biggest purchase in?
the rental car.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, because they get you with the add-ons as well. You know, do you want the roadside assistance? Not really, but do you want that extra insurance? It ends up costing you an extra $35 a day for that.
Whoa, you had your car for a while.
Yeah, I had it for 8 days, I think.
Oh.
So that ended up being the biggest account. Worth it though. Great car.
What'd you rent, buddy?
I got the Mitsubishi, whatever their SUV is. Yeah, it was very comfortable.
Yeah.
4-wheel drive was great, especially on those dark, cold, snowy roads.
I miss Canada.
Yeah, it's a great place.
It's almost as cold in this garage. Let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
All right, Leigh.
Yeah.
You got something crazy for us
Yeah,
here.
I have. I went off the board a little bit on this one. It was a good night on Twitter, but I didn't find that banger until I found this one. It was from a day or two ago, but it's fine because it involves everybody, gets people talking, even the stream teamers. And it comes from Andy Zhao, who says, Seinfeld today. I think it's relevant. Elaine spends 6 hours in a testing line. Jerry finds his new girlfriend less attractive with a mask off. George attends an anti-vax rally so he can get super immunity. And Kramer hoards rapid tests. I thought, there's some good ones there. But we're all Seinfeld fans.
Sure.
So I thought, you know what? Why don't we all have a little modern-day Seinfeld, scenario? I've got a couple to get us started. So if you guys don't have any, it's fine.
I have a few ideas.
Okay, I've got a couple here. Okay. Kramer and George's dad go into business making their own vaccine. George's dad reckons he knew the coronavirus was coming back in the 70s, and he's been working on a formula ever since then.
Okay.
Jerry's new girlfriend won't sleep with him until he shows her a negative test. He took one, but he's waiting for the result to come in the mail, right? Newman actually has it in his apartment. He has the result. But he won't. Jerry won't enter Newman's apartment, A, because he hates it, and also Newman is unmasked, and he won't tell Jerry if he's been vaccinated or tested negative. So, Newman, the whole time.
Yeah.
And everyone who comes into contact with George tests positive just after being around him, and they all blame George for it, even though he tested negative on his last test, and despite him being asymptomatic. And as the episode goes on, he just gets louder and louder, shouting, "I'm asymptomatic," the whole time. So it sort of builds up to that crescendo there. So there you go.
Nice.
How about it?
Fascinating that you basically took, you really ran with the COVID situation. For a modern day site.
Well, that's the sort of topic of the tweet there, So,
Well, I went a little differently.
Okay.
Because I was brainstorming over breakfast with Nora. I got to come up with something. And first question is why is that tweet? I don't know. It's Leigh. And then she was like, "Oh, so you want to do COVID things?" I was like, "Nah, let's do something else." So here's what I came up with. Not as eloquently put as you. You basically wrote the whole script. Can't wait to see the spec. But I have just ideas. Maybe we can brainstorm this a little bit. I have Jerry getting addicted to NFTs. And he starts losing sleep because he's staying up all night, flipping pudgy penguins and stuff like that. So he just goes all in on NFTs. I have George getting catfished. And then I was trying to remember, did that ever happen in Seinfeld? I don't think so. I don't think so either. But okay, so there's something there. Elaine becomes TikTok famous.
Oh, yeah.
Accidentally for her dance.
Nice. Right.
Yeah. And then I have, this one's really strange. Kramer petitions to city council to rename speed humps road boobies.
I can see that one for sure. Yeah. And he makes progress too. You can see it.
Now, I only brought that last one up because I said this to Tass when I saw him over the holiday break. Did you ever notice they call... What do you call a road boobie?
Yeah.
What do you call it?
A speed hump in
You
Australia.
call it a speed hump. What do you call it?
I would call it a speed bump.
I call it a speed bump too, and I had never realized until I started looking at signs down here, basically since driving to JD's house to do to the Classic Factory, because I have to go over feels like 25 speed bumps, but there are signs that call them speed humps. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Humps or
definitely
bumps?
thought they were bumps. And I had to take. I'd been down here for 8 years and didn't know there were humps.
Right,
And I
you said
was
that.
jogging by a sign that said speed humps, and amazingly, my phone was able to take a photo as I was bumping along, and it took a very clear photo of the speed hump sign. So I was very proud of that. Cool story, bro.
Humps is one of those words to me that you should never see printed on a sign.
Right.
It's too naughty.
Would you rather say road boobies?
I mean, honestly, humps and boobies to me, never put either of them on the side. That's not from like a government agency. They should not be putting those words on the side. No way.
It's not naughty to me anymore. When someone says hump day, I don't think.
Ooh, interesting. Maybe it's the S that does it.
I want to know from the stream team, do you call them speed humps or speed bumps? Because I for the longest time called them bumps, and now they're only humps.
Road lumps.
Road lumps.
I see coming through from Birdo Eats.
No. Oh, that's good though. I like that. Bumps, humps, or lumps, or road boobies. That's our poll. Go make your selection. Does anybody else have any Seinfeld? Plots for the modern day?
The gang launches a podcast network. Elaine makes a true crime podcast. George and Jerry partner on a podcast about nothing, and Kramer makes a podcast about podcasts.
That's a good one.
Just like the coffee table book.
Yeah.
All right.
Back to the poll.
You have
I don't. That's a great one to end on.
Okay,
right there.
okay, good. Well, unless JD's got something gold over there. No. Okay. Well, let's let everybody brainstorm in the stream team and listening to the podcast, and maybe you can drop it in the YouTube comments below this video, and maybe we'll go over some of our favorites. Modern day Seinfeld. That's a whole account, I thought, right?
Yeah, it used to be big. I don't know if I still followed or not, but I used to tweet all the time, but don't know if they do anymore.
That one caught your eye.
No,
maybe you blocked them.
No, I wouldn't have blocked them. I might have just unfollowed if they were.
That would have been one. Like
George
Jerry accidentally or Jerry blocked George.
How do you find out if somebody unfollowed you?
George's girlfriend blocked him on social media or something like that. Yeah.
Great stuff. Okay, pick 'em results last night. Grizzlies, Nets. The line we went with was Brooklyn favored by 7.5. This brought to you by BetMGM, of course. And Grizzlies, as we talked about, dominated this game. Covered easily. Moneyline hit. So that's a win for me and Leigh. There we go. Great start, buddy.
Thanks.
Loss for Tass and Trey, but it's very early. So what's tonight's game?
Yeah, well, the Memphis Grizzlies continue on a back-to-back. They're going to play the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's 2.5-point spread for the Cavs, who are very short-handed, and that's why 3 of us are taking the Memphis Grizzlies. And Trey, taking those Cleveland Cavaliers.
Was he forced into a swerve on this one?
This is a forced swerve. I would be definitely going Grizzlies, but as the last to respond, I had to go with the Cavs here. Who's he playing for the Cavs? Who's their point guard tonight?
Kevin P. and Brandon G.
0-2 for me tomorrow.
Oh, no, come on.
They're going to lose. The Cavs should not be favored in this.
Yeah, that's the strange part.
They shouldn't be favored. If it was like plus 2.5, I'd feel okay for the Cavs.
What time did the Grizzlies get into Cleveland last night? What was the weather situation getting out of Brooklyn?
They got the best point guard in the league.
Yeah, man,
maybe we get a Rondo game. Maybe Rondo plays his first game as a Cleveland Cavalier and passes the ball a lot.
We'll see. Okay, so Trey has Trey. It is a weird line. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
The Cavs are favored by 2.5. Trey has taken that, so they got to win by 3 or more, and everybody else has the Grizzlies. Okay. Fun show here in the Classic Factory. We can punch out now. Email in your NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com. Follow us across all social media channels: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok @NoDunksInc. Get yourself an athletic subscription. Go to theathletic.com/nodunks. $3.99 a month right now for that. That's good.
Terms apply? No.
I don't think. Well, I don't know what that really means, but
probably some sort of term.
I guess terms sort of apply. But yeah, go to theathletic.com/nodunks. You can get this podcast ad-free through the Athletic app, and you get some of the best damn sports journalism in the world. Right?
I guess those are terms, yeah. I would call them terms. We had some people asking if they get the deal abroad. I assume so.
I assume so.
Sorry, you never know.
Sorry, my camera was detected motion at the front door of my house, so I got to get going here. But until tomorrow, guys. Clipper Bros.
Oh, we're still doing
I thought we didn't talk about it.
82% of people say you got to keep those bros.
Yeah, we had a poll up, JD.
Yeah.
People want it.
All right, here comes.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
It's so positive. It's a great way to end. He
solid.
loves you.
It's solid.
Turn up.
People don't like change either.
No.
18% of people, I guess, like change. Not 82%.
Brace the day, people.